Okay, so we've learned to calculate z-scores. Use those z-scores to calculate of the normal model. So we know how a normal model works. We know the percentages of the first standard deviation, the second standard deviation, and the third standard deviation, but we don't know how to calculate what if we want to calculate something that isn't right on those standard deviations. Well, this will allow us to do that, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's just get right to the problem. We're going to use an IQ curve, recalling that IQ scores are normally distributed with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 16. So here's the question we're answering today. Approximately what percent of people have between 85 IQ scores? Okay, so let's look at the steps. 1, sketch a normal model and shade the area indicated. Okay, so let's sketch a normal model. We're going to sketch a normal model. So pretend that's a better drawing than it really is. Okay, so sketching a normal model. All right, we have 100 is the mean. Okay, and a standard deviation of 16. So when I draw that, I have 116. I add 16, so that's my first standard deviation. My second standard deviation, if I add 16 again, will be 132. And my third standard deviation, one more time, 148. Okay, and going the other way, if I subtract 16, I'm going to get 84. And for my first standard deviation, subtracting again, I'm going to get 68. And subtracting one more time, I'm going to get 52. Okay, so it's a little squish there, but those are my normal curve for IQ. So this is IQ. Okay, so the question says, what percent of people have between 80, so let's do an approximation, 80, okay, let's label it, 80, and 95 IQ. So 95 is going to be just below 100. Okay, we're going to label that 95. So what percentage of people? So let's sketch that in, okay, because that is our first, what we first want to do, sketch a normal model, shade the area indicated. Okay, step 1 accomplished. Step 2, find the z-scores. So we're going to find the z-scores for 80. Okay, so refresher from our last video would be, how do we find a z-score? Well, a z-score, if we remember, equals the x value we're trying to find minus the mu, which is the mean, divided by sigma, which is our standard deviation. So in our case, it's going to be 80 minus 100, which is our mean, divided by 16. Okay, so when we calculate all that out, we're going to get, on our calculator, we're going to get negative 1.25. Okay, so you can do that on your calculator, but that's what you're going to get. And negative 20 divided by 16 is negative 1.25. So what happens when we do 90? We're going to get 90, our x, minus 100 divided by 16. It's going to be negative 10 over 16, which is going to be this is 95. Sorry, it's not going to be negative 10. It's going to be negative 5 over 16, which is going to be negative 0.3125. So those are our z-scores for 80 and 95. Okay, so once we've calculated our z-scores, then what do we do? Looking back at our list of things to do, we're going to use a new command on our calculator. Okay, and this is the command normal CDF. So let's get our calculator. Okay, and we're going to use normal CDF and these two numbers because we're calculating between a range of these two numbers. So let's look at this new command. Okay, so clear your calculator, and we've written out exactly what we want to do. We want to push these buttons on our calculator. The second button, the VARS button, which is located right next to the clear button on your calculator, the normal CDF button, which is probably new to most of you. Okay, all right. Unless maybe you've taken statistics before. Okay, so here we go. So you want to hit second, VARS, again, left of clear button, second vars, and you want to go down to normal CDF, so 2 down, and you want to hit enter. All right, we want to put our 2 z-scores in. So our first z-score, remember, was negative 1.25. Please do this with me with your calculator if you have one at home. Please do this with me because you won't remember it unless you do it. And then scroll down and you want to say negative 0.3125. Those are the boundaries of your curve, okay? And then leave those alone, just scroll down and hit enter. And you've got everything in there, and you hit enter again. And you've got the normal CDF of your range. You're calculating a percentage is 0.2716. So equals 0.271, and so that's enough, and we can now write the answer as a percent. Move the decimal point over 2 places and we get 27%. So what does that mean? What percent of people have an IQ between 80 and 95%? Well, that would be 27% of people do. Okay, so do we see how we calculate that range? Okay, let's do it again. This is a slightly different problem. Approximately what percent of people have IQ scores greater than 125? All right, so let's follow our 4 steps again. Sketch a normal model for the IQ curve. So we're sketching a normal model. Okay, whoops. All right, so we're drawing our line at the bottom. Greater than 125. So let's start with 100. We don't have to draw the entire curve. We've got 116 and 132 and 148. Okay. Greater than 125. So let's draw in between 116 and 132, 125. We're going to label it 125. And we want to know what percentage of people have IQs greater than 125. Okay. We've done step number 1. Now we're going to find z-scores. Well, the only z-score we have to find is, in fact, 125. We're getting pretty good at this now. So we say z-score equals 125, that's our x, minus our mu, which is 100, divided by our sigma, which is 16. So that's going to be 25 over 16. 25 divided by 16. And that's going to be 1.5625. All right. So now we're going to take our normal, go to our step 3, which is use the normal CDF. So we're going to say normal CDF, but look, this is different. We want greater than. So how do we do that? We say, we enter the ZL lower number, we enter our 1 number, okay, 1.5625, and we enter positive 99. Okay, so that's what we're going to enter. Let's do that. So, ready on their calculator? We have second vars, go down to, enter, and my number 1.5625, 1.5625 for our lower number, and then a positive 99, and scroll down. Enter, enter, and we get for our answer equals 0.059. Okay, and then for a percent, what is that going to be? We move the decimal point over 2 places and we get 5.9%, which is about what we would expect, right? How many people have an IQ above 125? Not too many. 5.9%. Okay, one more time. Let's do the other type of example. Okay. All right, one more time. Approximately what percent of people have IQ scores less than 90? Okay, less than 90. So one more time, following our 4-step process, we draw the normalization curve. And let's start again at 100. We're going down 3 times. 84, 68, 52. And we want to say less than 90. So we draw a line at 90. And we just color in everything less than 90. Label the 90. Okay. Next, we want, what's our step 2? Find a z-score. Z-score of 90. And finding the z-score, 90 minus 100 over 16. And that's negative 10 over 16, and we'll calculate that, and that's going to give us a z-score of negative 0.625. Okay, do that on your calculator. You're going to get negative 0.625, and what are we going to do with that? We're going to go to step 3, and we're going to say the normal CDF of, now we are finding everything less than 90, so here's where we do something a little different. We want negative 99, and we put in the upper bound, which is negative 0.625. Okay? So let's do that on our calculator. So we've got the notes, and now we're going to do it on our calculator. So you can see that. Don't need the normal CDF. Okay, so I'm going to clear that out. Okay. So second bars go down, enter, and we have now on the lower end we want negative 99, and for the upper end negative 0.625. Scroll down, enter, enter, and that gives us an answer of 0.265, and moving the decimal point over, we get approximately 27% if we round up. So how many people have an IQ of less than 90? Well, that would be approximately 27% or 26.5%. So there we go. So let's sum up with some drawings what we've learned today. Okay? So we've done a lot of calculations. I want to sum up in the bottom charts here what we've learned today. Okay? So when we're doing finding percentages, we're going to, if we're finding percentages between two values, we've got two boundaries. We've got a z left and a z right. And we're going to use the normal CDF function, and we're going to say z left and z right. If we want something that is strictly greater than a value, then we're going to, talking about a normal distribution curve, we're going to have one z value. And we want to know what are the values or scores greater than that value. So we're going to say, what is the normal CDF of that z value? And we're going to use 99 as an upper bound when we put the command in the calculator. Now, when we want to know the percent of values less than a given number, we're going to say, we're going to think about it as, we're going to look at that kind of curve. We're going to again have one z value. We're going to use the normal CDF function, remembering that we're going to, as the lower bound, it will be negative 99, our one z value, and there you have it. Okay, so what we did today was using our z-scores and now learning our new normal CDF function on the calculator. We're able to find any set of values, percentages of a normal standard curve. Okay, so that is what we have done today using the normal model percentages. Find normal model percentages. Okay.